Shalom. Shalom, set apart Yashar'al. My name is Symmanayah. And as I awakened this morning, my spirit was stirred. And I wrestled with what I was receiving. I believe, without a doubt, that all thoughts and influence has an origin. And we struggle and we wrestle. We try to identify what is indeed the spirit of the Almighty Father Yahuah versus our own minds or the wicked one. I was compelled to speak, and I wrestled. It is now 3:31 Eastern Standard Time. And I've been wrestling and pondering all day on what was brought to me. It was not something that I was unaware of, but the way it was presented, the way it was stirring within me. So here I am, my brothers and sisters, to present what it was that stirred inside of me. It was as though the Spirit of the Most High said, it was I and I alone, who selected the one who would be the Father of nations. It is I, says the Almighty Father, the Creator of man, the Creator of all that exists. It is I who promised my servant that he would be the Father of nations. It was I who said to my set apart children in their rebellion that you would be scattered to the four corners of the earth. Just as I have promised the patriarch of nations that his seed will be as the sands and as the stars, and multiply as the sand and as the stars. It was I who decreed that my set apart children in their rebellion will be scattered across the edges of the plains, across the seas, to what many may call the four corners. It was I who promised restoration and fellowship to my children. It was I who set the standard that I will discipline those whom I love, saith the Almighty Father. It was I who promised to return you to the promised land, a land that I have designated, a land that I have mentioned to the patriarch of nations, to he whom is commonly and most known as Abraham. Prepare my children, for I will rise up and make known the edges of how far my children has been scattered. I will make known and I will bring them back to the land in which I have driven them from, saith the Almighty Father. And all that man is doing to try to demonstrate my non-existence, it is I alone prepare my children to witness the power and might that I will bestow upon all who are physically living on this planet. It is I, saith the Most High. You will move those whom I have chosen. Prepare to witness the results of my work, saith the Most High. Prepare to witness those who I have chosen to fulfill my promise. Prepare to move, O Yashar'al. I will gather you from the edges where you were scattered. Know this: you have multiplied and have reached the far and outermost parameters and borders in which I have said you would. My promise to the patriarch commonly known as Abraham has been completed. My words that stated that you would be scattered has been completed. Know this, my children, you will move, you will gather, and the power that I bestow upon the face of those who are physically alive will be witnessed. And there will be no doubt that I am the living Almighty One. I am the beginning and I am the end. Know this, my children, you will move the 144,000, 12,000 from each of the tribes that I have designated will emerge with confidence, with clarity, refined by my hand, saith the Almighty Father. The great multitude, those who I am drawing to fulfill what I have promised, are about to rise. There will be those that will move, and there will be those with unbelief. There will be those who would reject. And as a result of rebellion, my hand will execute all that is necessary to fulfill what I presented before you, my children. You will move, O set apart ones, and I will demonstrate the power and might in all that is necessary. The leaders who walk upon the face of the lands will know that I alone am the beginning and the end. My messengers will go forth and will begin to execute all that I have given them. And there will be none, not a one, not a thing, nothing that can stop them. Prepare to witness the power and might that I have promised you, my children. These are the words that stirred within me, O Yashar'al, set apart Yashar'al. I said within my spirit as I prayed throughout the day, I've said these things. You showed me these things. You showed me much, my Father. Should I present this recording? Should I present these words? What are they going to think? They're going to think he fabricated it and trying to put it in the form of a prophecy. My brothers and sisters, my flesh was worn. I was struggling and praying and not knowing whether this is the time to yield or not. And I don't always have these struggles as intense as it was today. It was as though the power and might of the Almighty Father, whom I call Yahuah, in the name of Yahusha, was speaking to my spirit, stirring my spirit, moving me to present these words. I can only do what I am compelled to do. So, whatever comes before or as a result of these words, if they are confirmed to be alive and from the Almighty Father, I say to you who seek to do his will, let all credit and esteem go before him. Let our obedience to the Spirit of Yahuah sent in Yahusha's name, as it is written, be magnified such that the world will know there are those stirred and moved by he who is the Almighty One. My brothers and sisters, hear these words and know that we will indeed witness something extraordinary in the coming of days. On that note, I say to you, Shalom.